Welcome back to the show. Now, we all want to pay less interest on our debts, but we only have a few weeks to get our credit reports in order, or else we might be paying more. And even if you pay off your credit card each month, you could still be at risk. For more, we are joined by Fairfax Money columnist Nicole Pedersen-McKinnon. Welcome back to the show, Nicole.
Hello, thanks for having me.
All right, so talk us through it. There are some pretty big changes happening to credit reports coming in July. Talk us through what's actually going on.
Yeah, okay, so we've had this thing called positive credit reporting, actually since 2014. So this is where there's a lot more information on our credit files. But actually we haven't really, because the banks have been incredibly tardy at actually handing over the information, probably because their systems, need quite a lot of upgrades to be able to supply all this extra data. From July 1, the government is going to be forcing them to supply it. Now, positive credit reporting, as I always describe it to high schoolers to get their attention, is a little bit like a nude money selfie, right? This is literally going to be a warts and all look at your money self now. You really need to present yourself in the best possible light now.
Oh, and now, Nicole, if I pay off my credit card, why would I be at risk of a bad report? That does not compute.
I know, and it shouldn't, right? But this is the thing about positive credit reporting. There's all sorts of different data that now factors in, Joe. So in particular, it's the repayment history. So every time you miss a repayment in a 2-year period, that's going to be noted. You only need to miss it by as few as 14 days as well. And if you defaulted on any kind of utility that's defined as 60 days or more, that stays on there for 5 years. And the thing is that 3 separate companies actually calculate your credit score, which is what you can get from all of this data, right? US style, a credit score. And the algorithms are more mysterious than which way Pauline Hanson is going to vote. So you really need to keep your financial house in order.
They've really got my attention. So does that mean just late payments, or does that mean actually not paying and ignoring all the red letters?
Yeah, so if you don't pay, that's a really big deal. That's a default. That stays on there for 5 years. Even late payments, though, 14 days. Sometimes we all get a little, relaxed with our repayments. You can't afford to do that anymore, You need to set up those phone reminders because it's going to push down your credit score and really hurt your chances of getting credit, loans, mortgages in the future.
And even just applying for a credit card can hit you where it hurts? How come?
Yeah, it really can. So I would urge everyone, first of all, to actually check their credit score, okay? Now, when you do this, this is like looking through a clear window at your credit file or your credit report. However, when you apply for credit, it's like opening the door to someone, letting them in and letting them stomp around in your credit file. And again, that pushes down your credit score. Not only that, with these new changes, your actual credit limits will be listed, right? So that age-old tradition in Australia of getting a big credit limit just for emergencies and not really using it, that's going to hurt you too. That actually could see you get denied loans, make you look like a bad credit risk.
Now, would you not advise people to do direct debit?
I would not advise people to do direct debits. Very good question. Yeah, absolutely, because that allows becoming a bill deal, okay? So where DIL stands for letting in digitally induced laziness. Because don't forget that your existing providers rely on you to sort of ignore what you're paying, have that tick over automatically. It'll go up and up and up while they give discounts to new customers. So no, I'd say phone reminders are a much more sensible way of keeping as much money as you can.
OK, and if you're older and own your own home, plus you're paying your bills on time, are you protected from the changes that are coming up?
Look, I think those are the people that are going to do best out of this, not least because they probably have, they have the most experience with money. They're probably very good and vigilant about paying everything on time. Because don't forget, there's probably a dozen or so other bills that will feed into this score as well. It's young people that I really worry for, Even the best of us have kind of gotten a bit giddy with credit when you're first given a credit card. And getting a credit card is still a really valid way of getting runs on the board and getting a credit report and score. But people need to be so careful about it now, just so vigilant.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's recap some of your main points now. Pay your bills on time seems pretty straightforward, and if you miss a bill altogether, that stays on your credit record for years. Only apply for credit you absolutely need and you will take up, because credit checks go on your file. Think about reducing credit card limits because they can make you look like a much bigger risk. They're all really good points to remember.
They are.
Nicole, aren't these new rules, this is what I don't understand, aren't these new rules meant to be making the banks more accountable and to make it safer for us so that they're not handing out huge amounts of money that we can never repay? And then you're saying that these could actually be working against us?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, that's the theory behind it, I guess, Joe. But the thing is that this is going down the US path, you know. We've got these US-style credit scores, which mean that we're actually getting already US-style pricing, right? So this is where people who are higher risks, represent higher risk to the banks, get charged higher interest rate. It's great if you're a model money citizen, you might pay a little bit less. But if you've had a struggle, if you've had a life event such as a divorce, things have gotten a little bit out of control, then you'll be paying more for credit. And I really worry that that will push some people, the people who can afford it least, into debt spiral. I'm concerned.
So the bank's going to be a good corporate citizen by charging poor people higher interest rates.
That's right.
Aren't they nice?
So generous.
Nicole Pedersen-McKinnon, thank you so much for your time. It's always
Thanks,
good chatting
guys.
to you.
Thanks, Nicole.
Now, coming up, how